What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Blake. Welcome back to another video. And as you can tell by the title of this video, learn to accept constructive criticism. Now, this goes in both ways. One, you only accept constructive criticism from someone who has already accomplished and achieved the same thing that you want in the specific niche, right? You know, you could go in broad terms like what did it take to be successful, but I mean, it's going to be like the same answer every time. But for a specific niche or something that you really are good at or that you want to get good at and how they got successful, that is the main advice you take it from. And whatever they say, if it can apply, make sure it applies to your goals and to your passion, right? And what you want to do in your journey in life. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. If it's still, see if it's still good advice, because that advice might come in handy later on in your journey. Remember, you're always going at your own pace, right? Tunnel vision, going at your own pace. So maybe their advice isn't going to work in that given moment, but maybe later on down the line, right? If it's good advice, even if it doesn't work out in your goals, maybe it can work out in your personal life, right? Like I said, depending on what the advice is, right? But that's the main number one. Number two, this is an optional one. You can take advice, constructive criticism from someone who can still be on their personal journey. Now, it could be the similar one as you, or maybe even a little different, right? But you can still come together to have a similar, similarity, balance in the middle, right? So like, for example, right? Let's say fitness, right? But we're gonna use it as the same thing, right? Fitness. So like if you're in fitness and you're trying to build muscle, right? And a guy who's a little bit bigger, who's been doing it longer, comes up to you and, says you've been doing good, putting in work, and, you're like, okay, well, how can I build more muscle? Even though he's, been doing it longer, the one thing that will not go wrong is eating in a calorie surplus, eating the right foods, either plant-based food, a lot of high protein and high carbs, healthy carbs, ideally, not necessarily the dirty bulk, right? If you want the dirty bulk or the lean bulk, right? Depending on what they're doing, right? They might be dirty bulking. You might want a lean bulk, right? But he can still give you advice of, calorie intake. Eat this, eat that. But you can kind of tell he's dirty bulking, right? So it's like you can take his advice on the calorie side, but then you also got to think, okay, he's obviously dirty bulking. I want a lean bulk. If he can't give you advice on the lean bulk, then, and if you can't find someone who is a lean bulker, then sometimes you got to do your own research. Look it up yourself, figure out the different kind of foods yourself. But you can still use the advice of no matter what, whatever I find, I have to eat in a calorie surplus regardless. See what I'm saying? They're dirty bulking, you're trying to lean bulk. So it's different kind of bulks for different kind of purposes and reasons. But the same goal is eating more calories, right? Getting that calorie count, right? So you see what I'm saying, right? Now that's the second option, that's more of the optional side. But the one thing you shouldn't do is take advice from people who are either negative or, just haters, I guess, right? That's advice you don't, or just advice if it just sounds stupid, okay? All right, because people will criticize you in a good way to better you, right, for your goals and whatnot, and the others will just say it because if it's out of jealousy or just misconception or whatever, then it's probably because they can't see themselves doing what you're doing, and they probably ain't got nothing much going for themselves, so they're going to try to bring you down to their level. But you have to be mentally stronger than that. That is when the mental toughness and the mental mindset comes into where you're like, you know what, I know I'm doing better than you, so what you say doesn't matter because I'm levels above, your levels below. You can't even meet me in the middle, so stay down there, buddy. You know what I mean? And sometimes, who knows, later on, those little critter criticisms, that made that up. Critter criticisms, will probably eventually, right? They will either hate indefinitely or, right, they might even start listening, right? They might be like, okay, let me do my own thing, right? And maybe they'll change, right? But that's a big maybe. But hypothetically, let's say they won't. They'll stay the same because for most people, change is hard. Changing habits for people is hard. You think someone's gonna if people aren't willing to change habits, what makes you think they're gonna be willing to change their mindset, right? You know what I mean? Like, some people want it. It all depends how bad you want it, right? If you want to change, if you want it bad enough, you will change, no matter what circumstances are. But that's really besides the point. But really, that's the end of this video. It was quick, sweet, to the point, constructive criticism, what to do, and who to take advice from and who not to take advice from. Simple, sweet, straight to the point, with a good analogy example. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications. And I did get this idea. Let me say at the end, I did get this idea from my mom. So yeah, shout out to my mom for this idea. We're gonna have more videos in the future, and sooner or later we're gonna get into fitness and how fitness correlates with life. So, like I said, comment, like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.